Hello, movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, the podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to do something a little bit different. I've done one of these episodes before, I think like a random ramblings episode, and there is just something that I have watched a couple of times now, and I have gotten so much enjoyment out of it that I have to talk about it. And I think that as movie nerds, you guys probably have seen it, and if you haven't, this will be a great time for me to talk about it so that you can see it. And what I wanted to talk about today was Hot Ones. Now, this is a YouTube channel called Hot Ones, and I think that a lot of you, if not all of you, would be very familiar with this YouTube channel. I want to say it's got over like 12 million followers, but it basically is this show where the host eats incredibly like spicy chicken wings with celebrities and asks them, questions kind of during this torturous ordeal. And the latest episode, which by the time this episode airs, I want to say that the episode that I am going to be talking about today would have aired about a week ago, and it would be the episode with Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, I have watched this episode of Hot Ones twice now, and I will probably watch it like 5 or 6 more times. I have gotten so much joy out of it. I am not like a religious watcher of Hot Ones. I tend to kind of reserve watching it for if there is a certain person that I genuinely enjoy, then I will sit down and like actually make the time for it. And there are a lot of things like that I feel like I am that way. There is another podcast, I want to say the podcast is called The Diary of a CEO. You guys are going to have to correct me if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what the podcast is called. And there was a certain episode that I absolutely sat down and made time for because his episodes tend to be a little bit longer, but it was the one with Maisie Williams, and I basically just snot bubble cried the entire way through her interview. And I think that there are just certain celebrities, Jake Gyllenhaal being one of them, where I will actually make the time to watch things that they do. I'm not the type of person that likes to sit down, for instance, and watch like David Letterman, or I don't know if Oprah even does that kind of stuff because I don't watch Oprah either. But I don't really like to watch sort of like the promotional, if you will, like promotional touring that celebrities do, where they sit down and just like talk about themselves or like talk themselves up because they're promoting a certain movie or what have you, where they're answering like very superficial questions and stuff. I don't really get too much enjoyment out of that. I don't like seek them out, but I do really genuinely enjoy times when celebrities are doing interviews or things that are a little bit more candid, like Hot Ones or like Diary of a CEO, where they're willing to like sit down and not necessarily answer things that are tough. Like I know that the Maisie Williams interview, a lot of that stuff was like deeply personal to her. But like the Jake Gyllenhaal Hot Ones, I feel like none of that stuff is like deeply personal. He's not answering anything that's going to make him uncomfortable, but it's just fun. And I think that that is the rare opportunity for people to get to see celebrities really in that more like regular person relatable space, which I feel like there isn't a ton of opportunity for, right? It's not every day that you're sitting down and eating chicken wings with Jake Gyllenhaal. And granted, none of us get that experience. It obviously is just the host of Hot Ones that gets that experience, but it's fun to get to sit down and kind of watch that. And I think that Jake Gyllenhaal, to me, from watching that episode, just strikes me as the type of person that would genuinely just be a cool dude to sit down and have a conversation with, And I feel like I approach watching stuff with celebrities, or stuff like Hot Ones, or stuff like The Diary of a CEO, I approach that differently now that I am hosting my own podcast. And because I know that one of my goals, whether I reach that goal or not, is to have people like from the movie and television space, like celebrities such as Jake Gyllenhaal. I would love to have them on and be able to interview them. And I feel like, because I also enjoy things like going to like Fan Expo, for instance, and I've done an episode on my experience with Fan Expo last year, that being in those spaces where celebrities go, and granted, like Fan Expo is totally different than, you know, sitting down and actually getting to chat with them, because that is like a monetary gain for them. You know, it is essentially like a job. So I feel like even in that space, very rarely have I ever experienced celebrities who have really been genuine or down to earth. And I definitely have. I don't want to say like I haven't done that, but a lot more often than not, it's been very superficial. It's been very like, I'm signing this for you because you're person number 1,412 that I've seen today. There you go. Thank you. Please move. You know, it's very much been like that the majority of the time, I feel like. But there have been some rare cases where the people that are doing those expos, and what comes to mind, and I'm not going to be able to remember what his name is off the top of my head, just because of course I'm talking about it. So naturally I wouldn't be able to remember it. But I remember hearing the story about Joseph Quinn being at like an expo. I don't think it was Fan Expo. It was in the UK, where he was at an expo and had sort of an experience there that I want to say was just not a great time. I think that the people that were running the expo had sort of yelled at him or been disrespectful to him because he was talking to the fans that had come to see him too long. So he was taking too much time with each person that he was signing autographs for, and they didn't like that, because if anyone's ever been to an expo before, one of the huge things is like it's all about money, right? The expos want to sell as many of those experiences as possible. They want to just run you through like you are cattle, because the more money the celebrities make, subsequently the more money the expo makes, and it's all a cash grab, right? And I don't think that it's necessarily always a cash grab for the celebrities themselves. Obviously, with Joseph Quinn actually taking the time out, he was there because he genuinely wanted to interact and see his fans. You know, I'm sure that was an amazing experience for him, and a really amazing experience for the fans that got to chat with him. But those kinds of things I feel like are rare, especially in today's day and age, like the age of the internet, where there are so many things now coming out about celebrities and who they truly are. And a lot of it is really just disappointing. I mean, that is the only word that I feel like I can use for it, is it's like the age of the celebrity is really kind of dying. You know, celebrities don't bring in box office numbers anymore. You aren't necessarily going to watch, you know, an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, or a film, you know, with Catherine Zeta-Jones or whoever it might be. You're really going to the movie because the movie entices you, regardless of who's in it. Because I feel like the majority of celebrity stories now, it's like you get to hear everything because you're on the internet. It's not like celebrities are these obscure, you know, people that we never get to see, and they're mysterious and like exciting. We get to see them on the internet constantly. We get to see them sending out nasty tweets. We get to hear about, you know, people who have had really bad experiences talking to this or that celebrity. And so it becomes a lot more fun to me to watch episodes like Hot Ones with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he just genuinely seems like he's a cool dude and like is having a really great time, and you can tell that he's having a lot of fun. And to me, like, I guess I enjoy that kind of stuff because I don't necessarily see or hear a lot of celebrity related stuff that doesn't have some caveat to it, that doesn't have some sort of today, on TMZ, this celebrity spit in this person's face. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys have not seen, to long-winded story this, if you guys have not seen the Hot Ones episode on YouTube with Jake Gyllenhaal, I would absolutely recommend. He is just so funny in that episode. It has to be one of my favorites that I have watched to date of just, celebrities that have been on and have experienced that. And for anybody that like enjoys Maisie Williams also, like I would definitely go and watch her interview on Diary of a CEO. I apologize if that's not the name of the podcast, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I would definitely check that out because she also seems like someone who is just genuine and just like a cool lady that seems like she would be a blast to sit down and talk with. And I guess what I'm really saying in this long rambling is that I really hope that I get to do that someday. It definitely is like a desire of mine or a goal of mine to be able to do that. And I feel like those kinds of conversations are the ones that I hope to have with people in this space, in the movie space, who are involved in all aspects of filmmaking, from scriptwriters to celebrities to production, cinematography. I would love to just have really candid conversations with them. And I feel like a lot of people probably who are, movie nerds maybe feel the same way. I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know. I'm sure there are definitely other people out there that are like, man, I wish I could just sit down and chat with X person and see if they're a cool dude or not, So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Hot Ones. I would absolutely love to know what Hot Ones episodes are your guys' favorites. Do let me know, like leave me comments for sure, because I will take the time to sit down and watch them. I very much enjoy that, and I don't get to sit down and watch Hot Ones as much as maybe I would like. So let me know which ones are your guys' favorites. Subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family, and I hope to see you in the next episode.